Was anybody in the lecture earlier on? If you were, just raise your hand, please. Okay, that's fine. Can I have the OHP, please, up top? Sorry about the delay. What's happening upstairs with the aids? Because it's going to help them. What's happening upstairs with the aids? There we go. Okay. Right, I think we're on now. Okay, thank you. Mobile media. We've got about half hour, 45 minutes. We're going to try and whiz through, hopefully, the next 7 points talking about mobile media. If you, anybody, people at the back, if you can come in quickly and settle down so that you can really participate in this session. Introduction, heavenly SWOT. A SWOT it's a business term, it's a business acronym that we use in the workplace to understand what our company's strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what our opportunities are, what our threats are. And this concept can be applied to our personal lives so that we can understand how are we doing as a person? Are we on track with our personal goals? Then we're going to talk a little bit about the mobile marketing and some of the services that we can offer. And then Nigel will come and talk about tones of praise, which is a fantastic concept, one of the first in the world, and something that needs to be taken up by the masses. Then we're going to have a team interaction where we're going to kind of emulate a little breakout session. And we're going to split up into like 3 or 4 teams so that we can create a SMS text message to promote an event. Does that sound good? And then we'll have a questions and answers, and then we've got a competition at the end. Okay, you all know who I am, Richard Mitchell, and this is Nigel Atterbury. Who can tell me what the theme is? What's the theme of convention? Great, great. We're going to look at mobile technology, digital media, images, video messages. Who has a phone which can accept a video message? Just wave it on the air. How many people have 2 phones? Just wave them in the air. How many people have 3 phones? See, they're still out there. They're in the masses. Okay, my mission statement is to go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. That means, technically, you're maybe not going to be going anywhere. You're not going to be going to heaven. But we've got redemption. And my key objectives that I try to live by on a daily basis is to have a Christ-centered approach to win as many souls to Christ through ministering to others, whether that's by talking, singing, writing a letter, writing a message, sending a text message, sending a voicemail, interacting with people. We need to interact with people. Encouraging a peaceable lifestyle to all men. So once we've got close to someone, we started speaking to them, we then need to go a stage further. Even though they may trod on your toe, you still got to try and be their friend. And you still got to really put aside all of your ways of where you may do things or the way you may perceive something to try and understand what that person is about and how they actually click. And that's what life is about. And that's what friendship is about. Nigel and I have known each other since eons. We went to uni together. We've been rolling for quite some time. And basically, we've established companies together. We've bought companies together. We've sold companies together. And we've done so many things. And that's because we spent time to understand who each other is. And also, the one thing about our friendship it started from within church. It started from the days of youth camp. I remember going to youth camp when 11 people got filled. And that was a phenomenal week for us in our lives. And there was a lot of people from Bradford who got filled that week as well. And at the end of the day, with youth convention and the format it's taken, it's trying to send new messages. It's trying to captivate a new audience so that we can be more in tune with our young people in our local churches and also be more in tune with Christ. Because obviously that's the most central importance to our life. So to the heavenly SWOT. How many people in this lecture theatre are Christians? Just do an indication of raising their hands, please. Okay, that's good. So we've got a good 75% contingency there. How many people read their Bible? How many people brought their Bible? How many people brought their mobile phone? Okay, the figures speak for itself, of which I won't want to try and embarrass nobody. Freedom of speech and movement has given us some wonderful things in life. All the things that our parents and grandparents suffered in the early years, they didn't have mobile phone technology. They had pen and paper, and they were sending letters back to Jamaica, and it was going via wire transfer and MoneyGram and Western Union and so on. And, you know, they didn't have the beauty of the internet at that time, but it came along later. And to look at St. Mark 10, verse 45, where it reads, For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. And that's very key to our Christian lives. Because what Jesus Christ did, he came to this earth for a specific purpose. And that specific purpose was, unfortunately, to die. But to die for the whole world. And for dying for the whole world, it meant that many can be saved. Because God had an ulterior plan. But in today's context, the mobile phone is here. We're in the mobile phone age. Unfortunately or fortunately, those who have 3 or 4 mobile phones, spending all their money on credits is not a good thing. I remember having one of the first Nokia phones, and it was like a brick. And it cost me an arm and a leg. And, you know, to use the phone, there weren't no car key. It was like we had to pick up the phone like this. Hello, anybody there? You know, just like the commercial. And that's how far technology has moved. Now we can have a mobile phone. I haven't got mine in the pocket. And it's as small as, it could be as small as my wallet. And the beauty about it is that you can communicate a message in a heartbeat. So what are the weaknesses that tries to come round about us in our everyday life? I can identify one, and that is sin. As Christians, sin is a difficult thing. It comes in very many forms. And it may present itself in very many ways. And what's important for us is that we don't just check ourselves, but we check ourselves daily and we say, Lord, did I actually pray this morning? So if we have prayed, we're saying, Lord, forgive me for anything I may have done and take me throughout the rest of the day, which is important. Or do you just roll out of bed in the morning and say, yes, who texted me last night? You know, are we doing that? Because if we're doing that, we need to take stock of ourselves and we need to say, Lord, if I am serving you and I am being a servant of you, I need to be in tune with you. And that's why I'm not saying we should dwell so much on our weaknesses and the pains that sin can bring us. But what we got to focus on is our goal. Because sometimes people focus and think about the pain and the headache of maybe buying a mobile phone. You want to buy the latest phone. How much is the latest phone going to cost you? Someone quote a figure that they may have paid for a mobile phone. Darren.
150.
150. That's a lot of money.
200.
£200. So what we're saying, the average price of a mobile phone is maybe £175. Is that correct? Now, what would you be spending over a course of a year on a mobile phone? Maybe £600 to £1,000. How many people have contract phones? Raise your hands, please. How many people have pay-as-you-go phones? How many people have both? I do. I have both phones. It's convenient. But back to the context of weaknesses. And I want to bring your attention to Psalms 19, verses 13 and 14. Keep back thy servant, also from presumptuous sin. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgressions. Then it reads on to verses 14. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. And what we're doing there is reaffirming our life with Christ. We're reaffirming our relationship with God. For those of you who have parental relationships, you've got to keep reaffirming that relationship with them. Those who have brothers and sisters, you've got to keep reaffirming that relationship with them. You may need to say, I love you. But even though you bunned me yesterday, I'll try and love you today. But, and even though you owe me a £5, I'm not loving you now until I get my £5 back because I want it for my mobile phone credits. That's what we got to do. We got to reaffirm our life and our relationship with Christ, which is the most important thing that any of us should be doing on our day-to-day walk. What are the opportunities? The opportunities personally is that we have been given the freedom of movement. We are living in a Christian-based country. I was going to say something, but I won't. And we can proclaim the gospel to many. We can proclaim the gospel to all. We can talk freely about the power of God and what Jesus has done in our lives. And that's important. We need to try and study the word. And like the theme says, check your text. It's not just check your text to see who sent you the last SMS message. It's about check your Bible text. It's about taking out the relevant scriptures out of the Bible which may relate to you. And Nigel will talk about how we can do that through the power of the mobile phone later. So, the power behind the statement, Lord, teach us how to pray, is found in Matthew 6, verses 10 to 13. And it talks about the Lord's Prayer, of which I'm assuming that everybody knows. Do we all know that? Ooh, I heard a murmur. Do we all know that? Maybe I need to send it to you into SMS message if you don't know that. The power of eternal life is our biggest prize. It's the prize that I want to win. It's the goal that I want to achieve. It's the multi-pound, million-dollar contract I want to sign. I want to make it into those pearly gates. That's my one goal in life. But while I'm doing it, I want to be busy for Christ. And whilst you're trying to be busy for Christ, it's difficult. Because what happens is that threats come along your way. And Jesus Christ experienced a threat in his life. And that biggest threat was after he was baptized. He had the most potent time when he was in tune with Christ. He was at one with God. And they say a dove descended into the heavens because of that one accord that he had. And that's important, and that's what we need to try to emulate in our lives. But threats try to come our way. Temptation tries to come our way. So when your phone is low on mobile credits, don't take someone's money to go and buy some credits. I've got silence. Has anybody done that? Don't worry, I'm not trying to embarrass nobody. But it's a reality. It's a reality that people will face in terms of temptation. They say mobile theft is one of the most rising crimes in today's society. Why? Because it's a sought-after commodity that people want to use. Everybody wants one. We typify today the cost of them. People want the latest phone, but they don't want to pay nothing for it. Let's not be like that with our salvation. Let's pay something. Let's make a prayer to Christ. Let's try and read our Bible every day. Let's try and be in tune with our services. Let's try and be in tune with the programs which are happening within our local churches. Let's try and be active in the movement that is happening and the mighty army that God is building. We cannot be proactive, and we cannot be proclaiming to say that we are Christ-centered people and we do not witness to others. We need to take that on board wholeheartedly. And back to the text, if we go to the threats of part B. After this period, in Matthew 4, verse 1 until 11, this passage describes how Jesus was victorious over temptation of the devil. When Jesus was fasting and seeking for 40 days and 40 nights. How many of us fast? Just raise your hands, please. How can we, for those who we don't fast, who haven't quite maybe indicated, can somebody give me an idea? How can we engage? How can we improve the image of fasting? Has anybody got any ideas? Reuben, I think that's one for you, man. Tell us how we can move forward. Tell us how we can improve the engagement of a better spiritual activity.
I think first of all we've got to understand why God would want us to fast. Understand the purpose of fasting is firstly, I believe, to humble ourselves before the Lord, and also it's to set aside what is natural for us to do, which is to eat for spiritual benefit. So it is sacrificial, but I believe fasting is something that is very necessary and something that we should practice from time to time for God to be able to release things into our lives which I don't think would come by any other means. So try it, and I'm sure you'll see the benefits of fasting, and then it will become a part of your life.
Thank you for that answer. And to build on that, he's touched on something wonderful of releasing something into your life, and it's called divine intervention. You know, in this path we trod, we need divine intervention every day. Divine intervention can only come from one place, and that's above. And that's by putting our minds and our hearts under subjection so that we can understand who Christ is and how Christ can minister to us, even though we may be running a company, even though we may be providing support services, even though we may be providing social care. You can minister in whatever way God has laid on your heart. And Jesus obviously went into Galilee, preaching and teaching the gospel to the kingdom of multitudes of people until his crucifixion. But obviously Jesus knew what was coming, and he knew he had a task. And that's what we have. We have a specific task, and that task is to let others know about Jesus Christ through whatever mechanism or through whatever legitimate means we have upon this earth, where title has been passed in a good manner, so that we can acknowledge the unity in the Trinity that God has given unto us, and that we can understand that we can gain that potential prize of eternal life. So, how can we get on the move? And I'm going to ask you to skip to how can the mobile marketing help your church? Thank you. If we focus on the points at the bottom where it says, what do we need to do next? What would you like to see in your church? And I'm going to come out and ask some quick questions. Would you like to have an SMS community?
What's an SMS community?
Thank you for asking me that question. Basically, what an SNS community is, you prepare a list of mobile phone numbers, and the list of mobile phone numbers are going to come from people in your church, friends, people on the choir. So the choir leader sends out a SMS saying, there's practice next week. There's practice the week after. So there's some level of interaction. So what we're then doing is using the technology to benefit us so that we can communicate a message. Another way you can have a SMS community is by sending out scriptures. So we can send out the theme of convention by SMS. Who received an SMS message last year for the National Sports Day? Just raise your hands. Ooh, that means I haven't got all their phone numbers. We got a few people, but last year we launched the first national SMS program. Someone's got their phone on. Answer it. Hello? If you're going to talk, please leave the room. Sorry. We launched our first SMS message to promote Sports Day, and it was very successful. We sent out over 300 messages. And again, we elaborate on that a little bit more when we go into the breakout session. So we can create a text-based community, and we can engage in communication via our mobile phones. Picture messaging. Who has a picture messaging mobile phone? There's a lot of people. So they can take a picture and they can send a picture to someone else. And then I would say one of the key functions that our church leaders need to take on board, and I do believe Ruben has taken this on board, and sorry to use this example again, Ruben, but who received the program electronically in a PDF format? Did anybody download it from the website, from the NTCG.org website? A few people. But the information for this convention was on the internet. It was on the corporate website. And that is a step in the right direction, because what we're doing is we are telling the world that we are having an event. We are telling the world that we mean business. And we are telling the world that we want to win souls for Christ. And that is the most important task that we can do as Christians. And I'm going to implore you again, local DYDs and district DYDs, help your young people to set up a district website so that they can engage in sending emails to each other. And if you need help in establishing that level of service or technology, speak to myself or Nigel, and we can help make that happen within your church. We can help set that up for you. There may even be people in your local church who knows about these services and technologies who can help you do that as well. And these are all powerful means to evangelize and to spread the gospel of Christ. And at this time, I'm going to skip past SMS applications, and I'm going to hand over to Nigel, who's going to talk about mobile technology and tones of praise. Just welcoming on. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Not many smiley faces out there. Is everyone all right? All right. I'll just briefly go over mobile technology, who I am, etc. Sorry for this. Is it all right if I come down there? Is it all right? I know I'm not the tallest of people. Can you all see me now? All right. Can everyone just repeat after me? Opportunity in a lifetime must be taken in the lifetime of an opportunity. Do you all understand what that means? So basically, if you see an opportunity there, that opportunity may not be there forever. Grab it, go for it. You may have a business idea. And basically, that's what leads on to myself. Basically, back in 2003, I saw that there was no gospel ringtones out there. Everyone had secular ringtones, but there was no gospel music service. And being a Christian, I thought, God, how am I going to take on this task? How am I going to deliver this to the world? Basically, I did a search on the internet. I found out there was only about 4 or 5 tones out there, the usual Stomp, a few other popular ones. But there was no gospel music. There was no Fred Hammond. There was no Kirk Franklin. Well, there was Kirk Franklin. There was no Mary. There wasn't many Mary. There was none of the local artists that we have in the UK, say. So basically, I said, God, I'm gonna have to implement this. I don't care how much it costs. And basically, to cut a long story short, I tracked down a guy who could help me implement this system. And today, I have tonesofpraise.com, which is still, well, for the last year, is still the only gospel ringtones website out there, which I still find fascinating. So basically what I'm saying, the opportunity in a lifetime is there may be those of you out there who have an idea for a mobile service. You may want to set up your own mobile phone carrier service, anything. If you have an idea, speak to me and Richard. We may be able to put you in the right direction, etc. Okay, basically, just going to quickly go over mobile phone technology. Could we just go to the next screen, please? Mobile technology. Sorry, to the next screen. That's it. Can everyone see that? All right. Basically, mobile phone technology. These days, there's so much. There's a wide spectrum of technologies that if you're interested in a career path or interested in to know more, there's just so much. I can't go over everything in detail now, and I'll probably lose most of you, to be honest. Basically, the basic ones. We have ringtones, monotones, basically the ringtones of about 10 years ago when you just hear like a single tone, like an annoying beep. We have the poly, which basically means technology moved on. You basically had the ability to combine sounds like keyboards, drums, guitar on your mobile phone. And now we have true tones or master tones, which is basically clips of real music on your mobile phone. We have now ringback tones. I hope I'm not losing you all. I'm not losing you all, am I? All right. Ringback tones, when you call a colleague, what do you hear on the other end? You normally hear like just a ring, just a boring ring sound. Mobile phone companies came up with this idea to play music while you're calling them and basically charge you for the privilege. So again, it's another way to wring money out of us. We have hybrid mobile phones now. Nokia released this week a hybrid mobile phone, an MP3 player with 4 gigabytes of memory. Not everyone's going to know what that is, but it's basically, if you look at it this way, I think 1 gig can hold 1,000 books, 300 pages long, just to put it into context. So that's a lot of space on your mobile phone, this tool that you carry around with you every day. Skipping over the rest, we have peer-to-peer torrents, BitTorrent, Kazaa, eDonkey, blogs. Basically, enables us with the ability, you may be on the other side of the world with a file on your PC, I may be in England. This software enables us to communicate to each other, swap files, share, even though many of the files that are swapped are illegal. I'm sure nobody out there is doing that. Anyone? Anyone? I see a guy pointing there. Right, just quickly moving on. So if we could just jump 2 screens. Just to mobile technology questions. These are just a few questions I've put down on paper. As you can see, I'll move right to the bottom. I'm just going to kick off with asking, do you think it's right for us as Christians, or not, as the case may be, to copy music, films, or buy dodgy DVDs? For yourself, do you think it's right for personal use, or you take your personal music, copy, and then share it out to 20 people around the world? Do you think that's the right thing to do? Do you think it's doing any damage to someone? Right. I totally agree with you. Things like that, you may be an artist who's launched a single, expecting, this is going to be your big break. You've got mouths to feed, etc. You want to pay tithes to church. Someone's out there, they've taken your music, shared it out to loads of people. In the end result is you don't get as much money as you should. Another question that we had, which was quite a popular one in the previous session, was, do you think it's right to have secular ringtones on your mobile phone? I'm not trying to push my business here and not trying to tell you all to go to my site and buy gospel ringtones, but do you think it's right to have secular ringtones on your mobile phone as Christians? Is it all right if I come in the crowd and ask a few people? Yeah, anybody brave enough?
Go into the crowd, Nigel.
I'm not going to ask you. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I think it... Oh. can you say that? Yeah, well, I think it depends because, like, so you kind of, it depends because when you listen to secular music, it's like feeding your flesh. Basically, what I mean, like your spirit, it's feeding your spirit. Say, I can't really get out. Feeding your spirit things of the world, and basically, just like we heard yesterday, if you're not for God, then you must be against Him. You understand? So basically, at the end of the day, when you listen to secular music, for me, just from my opinion, I believe that listening to it won't help your spiritual life with God, and it won't help your life with as a Christian. If you are a Christian, it won't help your life, basically, because for me, I do listen to, it depends what kind of music you listen to, because some of them have like, I don't know, bare different type of things on them, like like killing and all them kind of things, and it depends what kind of music you listen to, really and truly. But at the end of the day, if you're listening to music where it's, it's about love, so I don't mean to go over time, but what's it called? If you listen to music about love, I don't think there's anything wrong.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Sorry. Anyone brave enough? Who's Latoya? Latoya? Do you want to speak? Anyone else? Come on, there must be more opinion. Come on, please. Come on, let's make this more interesting. Anyone else? Nathan. Excuse me, sorry. All right, stand up.
Yeah, I was just saying that there's certain secular songs or tunes that I wouldn't put on my phone, but then there's others that I would, because for me, with a polyphonic ringtone, I'm not going to feed my spirit, you get me? I'm not going to listen to the song on a polyphonic ringtone. So that's my view, but that's it.
Thank you very much. All right, anybody on the other side? Sorry again. Anybody? Young, old, whatever. All right, I'm going to pick on someone. Do you want to speak? Anyone? Anyone brave enough? Just a few words. Few words? Come on, it can't be this hard.
No, I would put a polyphonic ringtone on mine, like a secular one, but I'm not exactly listening to the actual words. I'm just hearing the beat, and that's all.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm hearing what some people are saying about how there's no lyrics and that kind of stuff, and that you would think that you wouldn't be affected by just hearing a tune. But I'm thinking to myself, there's sometimes when I'm, as a musician, that I'm recording a tune and I'm praying to God saying, oh, I hope this will bless someone, I hope it will touch someone, I hope that the music, not even the lyrics, just the music will speak to someone's heart. So I'm thinking if I'm doing that, someone can be doing the reverse of that as well. So without the lyrics, you could still be affected by just the tune itself.
Well said. All right, another person.
But if you think about it, some Christian artists take secular music and take their beats. So it really works well. So what are you going to say about that? Really? No, I'm not trying to be rude, but because like some secular artists take like some Christian beats, some Christian music takes secular artist beats, and sometimes they got collaborations with secular music and Christian music. So what do you think about that?
That's a very interesting question. I think it just spreads confusion, but I'll leave it at that. That's just my point. Anybody else? Sister Hall. Anyone decide want to comment? All right, I'm going to ask another question. Sorry. All right. I must apologize. I'll go back to that last young lady's question about Christian artists collaborating with secular artists. As I said before, I believe it does spread confusion. You're either or either. Seriously, that's it. That's my view. Can I just ask another question? Do you think we're all too dependent on our mobile phones? Again, if I've lost mine before and it felt like I lost a hand, you know. We'd rather carry everywhere than our Bible say, for instance. Can I throw that question out to anyone? Come on, this is an easier one, please. Anyone? Sorry? Okay, do you think we're too dependent on our mobile phones? Do you think it's a tool that we're going to be used to be controlled by it? I mean, you can see your bank balance on it. You can book a taxi by it. There's so many things you can pay for by mobile phone. You're tracked by it. Do you think we're too dependent? Anybody want to comment?
I would say, no, please. Ugh, you can. No, I would say that a lot of us are too dependent on mobile phones, because I know me myself, I went through a time when I couldn't be without my mobile phone. I'd actually kind of cry, sort of thing. No, seriously, if you leave your mobile phone at home, and then you think you're going home, and the one thing you're looking forward to when you go home is the amount of missed calls you'd have had and everything, and you get there and there's none, then you just feel sad. So I actually went through that, and I think that I was too dependent on my mobile phone, but it's changed now. But yeah, we can be, because you can do everything on a mobile phone now. You lose interaction with the real people. Exactly. Sorry, she said.
Very interesting. So really we've got to ask ourselves, is it good to talk? Is it good to talk? I know as many of us do love to chat. And the bill at the end of the month really does reflect that. Causes a lot of problems. Are we too dependent on our mobile phones? Anyone else? Anyone else? Go on, mate. Go on. Does anyone know what profiling is? Profiling? Okay, I'll just quickly run over that point. Basically, there are base stations everywhere which amplify your mobile phone signal, so you can, basically, you can communicate with others. Every time you pass a base station, your mobile phone leaves a signature behind. Basically, they can track you by your SIM. Well, sorry to get technical here, but so you'll be driving, you'll pass a base station, which will just be like a tower or mast, which you see above a house, just to keep it simple. The mobile phone companies have the ability to put together a profile pattern of where you've been over the last week, month, year, 2 years, 3 years. Does that worry us? Do you think that's worrying?
It shouldn't worry you unless you're doing something wrong or you're a terrorist.
No, but there's also the big brother aspect. There's CCTV cameras everywhere. It's like our personal life should be personal. We should be able to move about as freely as we should. That's the point I'm trying to make. And mobile phone is another tool for them to keep watching us. Any more comments?
I think that it's just a bit of an invasion of privacy, really, and
okay, thank you very much. All right then, at this time I'll pass back to Richard. Thank you all very much for participating. I really appreciate that.
Thanks very much, Nigel. That was brilliant. Okay, so following the running order of our presentation, we've got another 2 points to cover. Nigel's done a wonderful question and answer session. Who watched The Apprentice? Just raise your hand. Okay, who watched The Apprentice last week? Okay, we're down to 2 finalists. We've got Sarah and Tim. Who do we want to win? Hey, Sarah. Well, we're going to have our own little bit of an apprentice today. We've got an event coming up. And I'm going to ask everyone to kind of participate in this. And what we're going to do is if we just go to the page, team interaction session, please. If you just bring it up on the projector. Thank you. Okay, if we refer to our programs, who has their program in their hand? Wave it, please. Excellent, excellent. What have we noticed in the program which is slightly different this year? We've got an evaluation to do. Who's completed the evaluation form yet? Anybody? No, not yet. Okay, don't worry. What the task is, as Mr. Alan Sugar says, on page 19, we've got a few events which have been advertised. Are you all with me? Excellent. Okay, one event in particular that is very dear to my heart is the National Sports Day. All the other events are dear to my heart, but this one in particular is more dear to my heart. And as you can see on the presentation, it says we're going to break out into 2 or 3 teams because obviously the group is very big. And what I'm going to request, and I've got 1 or 2 helpers who's going to help me out. We're going to write a 160-character text message promoting the sports day. Are you going to help me with that? Great. Great. Okay. So then, just to divide up the teams, Nigel's got a mic. If you can take a sheet and go to the back of the hall. Right at the back for me, please. The back section of the hall. Winston Taylor's going to help me out as well, please. And all he's going to do is just going to help us write a 160 character. But what I want you to do is just basically shout out some ideas to your team coordinator of what you would want to see in the text message to be sent out to the database that we have for after convention. All right? You are Reverend Winston? If you can take this section by here. So it's going to mean you just getting off your seat and just obviously go close. And he'll ask you, what's your ideas? You've all got the program in front of you. I'm going to ask you to write a text message. So come up with all the wonderful creative ideas that you normally do when you need to send a text message out. And just shout it out at Winston and he'll write it down. Are we clear on that? Yeah. And if the team at the back can do the same with Nigel. And then what I'm going to do is I'll take this central section here. Okay, so all those people who said they've got 2 and 3 mobile phones, now's the time to put it into practice. And then what we're going to do is that the leaders will then come back and then we will have a cheer monitor to say whose text message was the best. Are you with me on that? Great, okay. So if you get your thinking caps on, and I'm going to come down to this section, and if Reverend Winston Taylor can just move to this front section, please. So what we want to do, just to repeat it once again, is we want to send out a mass marketing text message to the NTCG church community, informing them about Sports Day that's coming up. Are we all clear? And the one thing I must say, someone will get fired. Okay. Let me just come down to the front. Maybe about 2 or 3 messages per team. So Winston's going to be coming with his, and anyone who's going to read them out for him, so it can give that level of impetuosity as well. And then Nigel. And then when there was 2 young ladies who I was talking to down here. There was one called Miriam from Lee. There was a lady here. Do you want to just come down to the front, please? Okay, just come to the front, and we're gonna line up the text messages. And before I start, I just want to get everyone together. Are you coming, Miriam? Come. We need it now. Quick. Nigel, can we have your submissions, please, for the SMS messages? Okay, no more time for preparation. That's it. It's over. Where? Okay, come on then. Come to the front then. Who else? Go on, ask them to come to the front, yeah? Come on then, come to the front. Give him a cheer. Come on, let's give him a cheer. Woo! Okay then. Yeah. Right, this is a bit of a rush job. So I really don't mind today because obviously we're going to have time to sanitize the information and make sure it's all above board. But one thing I can assure you, whichever team's message wins will be the message I will use in the SMS broadcast, which is going to be going out in the next week and a half. Okay? So watch out and make sure you submit your numbers in. So the way in which you can submit your numbers is by completing the evaluation form. So once we've done this task, you really need to complete the evaluation form so that we can capture your telephone number, like back to what Nigel was saying about profiling, so we can send you a return message. Are we all together on that? Great, wonderful. This is the one time in church that we're going to have authority to use the phone. Okay, right. Nigel, start with your team. TOP. Where's your members? And if we can have your name and the church you're from and how fast you type that text message.
Well, I'm Jessie. I'm from Newport, Pastor Taylor. It was just quick, 2 seconds.
That's fine. That's fine. All submissions welcomed.
It says, Wablo, Wablo, it's the New Testament Church of God year on the line. Just wanted to holler at and tell you about the launch of the NTCG Sports Day 2005 SMS campaign. Enough love and God's blessings. Peace. You heard me?
Okay. Right, just stay here. Just stay here. We've got one long message here. Right, was that over 260 characters? It was under. Definitely a contender. Definitely a contender. Okay, and we have, and your name is?
Miriam from Myland.
Whoa! Give it up for her now. You know she's on the webcoms team. Only one of the messages.
Okay, we've got, if I were a runner, I'd pray every day. If I were a jumper, I'd leap in faith. But as I'm a Christian, I can do all this and more. So come join our sports day and see what's in store.
Whoa! Yes, you know it's good. Okay, we've got another contender.
My name is Stacey and I'm representing Old New Testament. Is anything good? Is anything hard to do for Christ? No. Yes, no. Jump, run, laugh, skip for Christ, score the goal. Aha, he wins.
Yes. Thank you. And over to Winston, if you just stay here, please.
Right, I got to let you know that this is 172 characters, a little bit over the top, but here we go.
Okay.
NTCG Sports Day, flexing it for Christ, Sat 6 Org 05. Slam dunk it at Monroe Sports Centre, BHX, which is Birmingham. For more details, visit www.ntcgsports.com. Be well, don't fail. Christ can Christ can move the parts you can't.
Well, for comprehensivity, that is good. Who identify the person? Everybody. That's a team effort. People at the back as well. I can hear some cheering and so on going on. Brilliant. I had one from this section over here, and it reads, run, hop, skip, jump to Nat Sports Day, 6 of Org, 05, www.ntcg-sports.com. I didn't even like it myself. It was the way I said it. It was really the way I said it. The text message is absolutely brilliant. And, it's just the way I've said it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the clapometer to see who wins. Yeah, are we ready for this? It's a bit obvious. No, it's not obvious. Okay then, so Nigel, can you do the signal for the crowd, please? You have to put the hand over the head. Well, I've read one out. So if you stand here then. Okay, he's going to do it. Good. Start from Winston.
Stacy. Yeah. Any more? Miriam. That's more like it.
Yes, she's on the webcoms team. Yes!
Miriam. Miriam.
Big it up, big it up, big it up, big it up. Don't miss me out, man. Don't miss me out.
Jessica. Jessica, support. Come on. Yeah.
Don't miss me out, man. Don't miss me out.
Richard. Richard.
As Alan Sugar says, you're fired.
He's fired.
Okay, thank you for that participation. Let's have the submission in. Obviously, Miriam was a unanimous winner. Give her another round of applause. Excellent. Excellent. So just to top the presentation off, we're going to give you a competition. Because we've already done answer any questions, but it's a competition. Are you ready? Get out those mobile phones. Get them ready, get them poised. Get them switched on. Like I said, today's going to be the first time you're going to be allowed to have your mobile phone switched on. In church. Isn't that a revolution? Win a free iPod mini. Who wants to win a free iPod mini? Quick! Text, text, text. Okay, the question is, what is the theme of the National Sports Day to be held on the 6th of August 2005? Send your submissions in by text. Yeah? So basically, the answers are text sports 1 to 60999 for flexing it for Christ. Text sports 2 to 60999 for flex for Jesus. Text sports 3 to 60999 flex for me. And when you've done your SMS message, just hold your mobile phone in the air. I feel sorry for you. Come here, let me give you some money to buy some. Okay, have we all done that? No, not yet. Okay, well, I'll leave it there for a bit longer. I think we're actually approaching the closing time for this session as well. So just before the stage coordinator comes back, I want to be clear that everyone's had an opportunity to submit. We will be putting posters up around convention later on today so that anyone who hasn't had an opportunity to try and win a free iPod mini, they will gain the opportunity to do so as well. And then we will be sending out the winning prize to the person who gets picked out of the lucky pot. Or shall I say the heavenly pot? Amen. Amen. Have you all enjoyed yourself today? Has it been informative? Is that a yes? Excellent. I'm just going to ask you again, please complete the evaluation form for us. And that's on page 15 of your programs. Once you get an opportunity to do so after you finish the competition. But please complete the evaluation form. It's going to be one of our lifelines that HQ is going to be using to try and monitor general responses and also to stay in tune with the young people around the country. Thank you. You've been a fantastic audience, and God bless. Bye-bye.